The recording has started.
Okay. Start off by saying Shalom. All praises to the Most High, Ahaya. Hope everybody's having a Tawab, Arab. Okay. Arab is evening, so Tawab, Arab. Hope everybody's having a good one. Tonight's lesson, we're just going to go into some information. It's kind of speaking about the government a little and what's coming up, what's on its way. Because I think a lot of people are blinded by what's happening and what's going on. So tonight, we're going to go into some information. A lot of the information you guys probably already know, but we're still going to touch on it just to put that sense of urgency back in you, if that makes sense. Okay, but first, I'll open it up for some news. I know we haven't done news in a few weeks, but I'll open it up for the first 5 minutes. See if anybody has anything they would like to share with the group at this time. So this is a good time. Anybody online have any news they would like to share with the group? No news? Okay. Brother KG, you say you got something? Go ahead.
Yeah. This judge is telling this grandmother who now has custody of these 4 kids that they have to get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. Where is this at?
This is in Michigan.
So the grandmother has custody of the kids.
Yeah, the grandmother has custody of the kids through CPS. CPS has been involved in these kids' lives off and on because their parents are ex-drug addicts and things of that nature. But they're saying that, let me see, I got a little bit more. She learned that the couple's children ages 10 and under. So she got 4 kids 10 and under that the judge is saying that they're going to have to get vaccinated.
Right.
No way around.
Right. So Brother KG said he was seeing something in Michigan where a grandmother has custody of the kids. Kids are through CPS. And now CPS is making it mandatory that she go get the kids vaccinated.
Not only that, but you got all these political people speaking out, like Hillary and the guy in Florida, Bush in Florida, saying that they need to do it too. So, but then you got people on the other side, like Ron Paul, saying, well, it should be the parents' choice.
Right.
So,
Well, you know they don't care about Ron. Ron Paul been blowing the whistle on them for years. That's why every time he run for president, he only got like 10% of the vote. They done already smeared mud on his face, to where they smeared mud on Ron Paul's face because they knew he's basically a political whistleblower. So they smear mud on his face. That way, when he talks, people don't believe him because the government already has you believing that something's wrong with Ron Paul. Okay, but I'm glad Brother KG brought that up because that's actually what I was going to start the lesson off with, is the whole measles scare. And like I said last week, we know through history and through the European invasions on all the 12 tribes of Israel, everybody that they invaded, in every country, the first thing they did was disease the people to take control of them. Okay? And when the European invasion happened, the main disease that they were pushing was measles and smallpox. Okay? So that's where measles came from. Measles came from the European government, the EU. Alright? And we're going to get a little bit into the EU tonight, to show you how they control so much still to this day. Now, So if the measles outbreak is all of a sudden coming back and they say this is the most cases that they've seen in years, where is it coming from? Just like Ebola. Ebola just kind of came out of nowhere, but we know, watching and doing our research, Ebola's been around for a while, but it just pops back up out of nowhere. So just like measles, all of a sudden you have this major measles outbreak, and no one's asking questions. No one's saying, well, where it come from and how it happened. Okay, but it's an agenda. The government says, okay, we're getting closer to our goal. What's the goal? Obamacare. Obamacare is the goal right now, the overall goal, to where they're gonna push multiple buttons to where things become mandate for you and I. So that's why the Most High says, leave before they start making all this stuff mandate. All right. So through the Obamacare, we already know about the chip that's going to be made mandate. But before they make the chip mandate, we have to make sure everybody is on the same page. And that goes with the vaccinations. So in order to put everybody on the chip, we need everybody to be vaccinated and clean. That way, when I control you with this chip, because you know with the chip, I can control your energy level almost. I can control a lot of stuff once I put this chip in you. And guess what? That's the whole purpose of the chip, because right now, we are human resources. I don't care how you look at it. We are human resources for the government. You are a live walking battery. They have a giant remote control, and they just keep popping you and I in and out of it to keep their remote going. So you are a human resource. But now they're going to make it to the point to where we can recharge our human resource. Like, you know, you got the battery chargers, how you can recharge the battery. So if the battery die off, you don't got to throw the battery away. You can just throw it in a recharger and it charges the battery up. And now you got the same batteries for a year, forever, right? Same batteries forever, as long as I can just recharge it. So that's what the chip is going to do. The chip is going to be the recharge. The chip is going to make sure you stay on point so you can continue to work for them. We don't need no tired people. Once we chip everybody, y'all going to be like robots. That's why Michelle Obama is doing such a big kick for the obesity thing in the schools. They're changing the diet for the kids. They're changing a lot. Why? Because through the chip, they're also going to be able to control you and say, hey, all right, now that you have the chip, you can't have no more than 1,800 calories a day. Point blank. They're going to put everybody on a certain diet and feed you through the chip to make sure you keep that energy so you can be able to get up every morning and continue to make sure that beast, which is that giant remote control, continues to operate. So the things I've been hearing on the measles outbreak, to go along with Brother KG was saying, just here in Arizona alone, I've been hearing over the last week, you have multiple schools, not one, not two, and daycares, saying if your kid is not vaccinated, they can't come to school right now. We got a measles outbreak. We got 2 kids in the school that got contacted with measles. Now, any kid in this school that has not been vaccinated, has not had their records updated, they can't come to school for the next 3 weeks. So guess what they're doing? And the daycares are doing it too. Daycares are doing it too. Kids not vaccinated, you can't bring the kid to the daycare for the next few weeks until we figure this out. So what are they doing? They're quarantining you. But they're just making you do it right now as voluntarily, basically. All right? You can't bring your kid to school if he don't have shot records updates. Keep him at home, so they're making you quarantine yourself. That's what quarantine is. Hey, I'm going to isolate you for so many weeks until I know you're good. So right now it's a voluntarily quarantine. Just don't bring your kid to school. It's a nice quarantine right now. But you have a fight. You have a fight. Why? Because you have so many people that's like, nah, my kid needs to go to school. Nah, so it's a battle now. So now you have a battle with parents that follows the government and vaccinate their kids, and then parents that don't. And then when you have majority of the parents that start stepping up and saying, we're not going to do that, then that's when the government is going to put the foot down and say, listen, mandate. And they're already in Congress trying to pass a bill. I was watching something the other day. They are already in Congress trying to pass a health emergency bill. Basically, we in the state of emergency health wise. We need this bill passed right now. So what's going to be in that bill? Mandate. So that's why I want to go over this today, because listen, you guys, I've been saying for the last 3 weeks, we must put our heads together and start homeschooling. Listen, it's a must. Because if you continue to keep your kids in these schools, they will sooner or later make you vaccinate the kids. Or one day you're going to send your kid to school and he's going to come home vaccinated. And you're going to be like, what? Because it's going to be completely out of your hand. So now, if you don't want that to happen, you're going to have to take your kids from under the government's hand. Right now, our kids belong to the government. I hate to say it. They're with them majority of the day, right? Where are your kids at majority of their day? With them. So when you average that out throughout the year, man. So we got to start paying more attention to what's going on and change that cycle and say, no, you know what? My kid needs to be around me majority of the time. All right? And then you pray to the Most High and say, how can I do this? How can I keep my kid at home and homeschool him? But that's why we have this group. Through the group, we can start a school, you guys, if we all put our heads together and did it. But we can't just have 3 people in the group that really truly believe in the homeschool, and then everybody else is just kind of like, whatever, I want my kid to go to school still. Then let me tell you something, the spirit ain't sat with you yet. Because once the spirit sits with you, you think about your kid, and you say, hey, don't, like I always say about holidays. You're going to say, well, I know the holidays are bad, so I'm going to pull myself away from it, but I'm still let my kids participate in the Christmas functions at school and everything like that. Well, so you're going to save yourself and then let the kid destruct? So same thing with the school. Every day we send our kids to the schools, it's destruction. I don't care how you look at it, with the information that they're giving them, and then with the way they're training them. You're trying to train the kid a certain way at home, but every time you send them to school, it becomes a contradiction to the kid on how they should be, because they see so many other kids operating in the way. So with the measles outbreak, you guys, listen, I think this is just the start. It's a test. It's a beta test. All right? Ebola scare, beta test. RSV, whatever that was, right around Ebola, remember it was killing kids. Beta test. Now we got the measles outbreak. Beta test. We want to see how everybody's going to react. We want to see how everybody's going to react once we finally tell the parents they can't bring their kids to school. Let's see what they do first before we make this mandate. So now that we're telling parents they can't bring their kids to school, guess how many parents said, you know what, I don't want that. Got up and went and vaccinated their kids. So it's a beta test. Let's see how many people we can scare to the droves first before we make a mandate. So let's start quarantining the kids and letting them not come to school. 100% of those parents that they told so far that you can't bring your kids to school, I bet you 70% of them has already said, you know what, let's go get them vaccinated. Because they don't want to fight with the government. See, people don't want to get into a battle with the government. But what they really don't know is that we're already in the battle. It's a spiritual battle. This is part of the battle. The measles outbreak, the Ebola, this is the government at their best. And you don't even realize it. When you're getting all these different diseases and stuff, this is the government saying, I'm bringing out my cannon now. And for all y'all that don't even know y'all in the spiritual war, boom. But see, people that know that we're in the spiritual war, oh, measles outbreak. Oh, man, we just got past the Ebola. Man, they coming with it right now. We got to come together and learn how to combat this. So, like I always say, whether you want to be in that spiritual war or not, you're in it. And the sad part about it is if you don't wake up and realize that you're in a spiritual war against the government, you're on their side. So until you wake up and realize, hey, they after us. And not only are they after us flesh-wise, they're after our spirits. Once you realize that, then you'll make the proper decision. Say, nah, I don't appreciate what they doing. Now you'll go find the Messiah and you'll get on his side to help fight. But until you figure that out, you're on their team. So at the end of the day, when the Messiah comes back, and if you haven't woke up, you're doomed with them. And that's kind of what we're going to go over tonight, you guys. Cause we need you to wake up. We need you people to stop playing. You can't justify what's right and what's wrong. Okay? The King James Bible does that for us. But so many people say, well, you know what? Yeah, I know that might not be right, but as long as I do it this way, it's cool. Nah, the Bible don't say nothing like that. The Bible says you follow my words, word for word, and if you take anything from this or you add anything to it, shame on you. I'm going to add to you the plagues that I speak of in this Bible. That's what it says. Okay?
Before you get into it, there's a YouTube channel called Experimental Vaccines, and this guy is really dedicated. He spends his own money and he goes off donations, and that's all he does. He go around and finding out what's all in these vaccines.
Say that again, brother.
It's a YouTube channel, and it's called Experimental, EXPERIMENTAL Vaccines, VACCINES, and it's one word, and it's on the YouTube channel. And the guy is dedicated, man. He really goes.
So Brother KG says he's found the YouTube channel with a guy that's on there putting in money trying to figure out what's in these vaccines. And seeing that's what we need. We need more people out there. But listen, it's common sense.
Yeah.
I know it's common sense to me. Why? Because you have so many new diseases now today that wasn't around when I was in elementary and junior high. So where did all these new diseases come from? And where did all these different illnesses, ADHD, autism, where did stuff come from? All right. It comes from the vaccinations. Okay? So we got to be really careful, you guys. And everybody just you got to turn to the Most High. Now we're in these days to where the only thing you can do is turn to the Most High. Okay? And if you don't turn to the Most High, you're going to lose. I'm just being real with you. So I have this book right here that's called The Pale Horse. We're going to read a little information out of the Pale Horse book real fast just to start the lesson off. All right, let's see. Oh, for anybody that have the Pale Horse, we're going to go to chapter 15 and page 295. All right, and then we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. The third paragraph. Yeah. Go ahead.
We're coming in the Pale Horse. And it reads, it says, the recognition of our despot may also come before the destruction of the Constitution. The moment for this recognition will come when the peoples, utterly wearied by the irregularities and incompetence, a matter which we shall arrange for of their rulers, will clamor. Away with them and give us one king over all the earth, who will unite us and annihilate the causes of discords, frontiers, nationalities, religions, state debts, who will give us peace and quiet, which we cannot find under our rulers and representatives.
So this individual said right here, there is no peace, there is no quiet with the rulers that's representing us right now. Read that first sentence again. The recognition.
It says the recognition of our despot may also come before the destruction of the Constitution. The moment for this recognition will come when the peoples, utterly wearied by the irregularities and incompetence, a matter which we shall arrange for of their rulers.
So that's kind of where we're at right now. We're very weary of what's going on. I know I am. All right, we're very weary with the Constitution, our government, and what they are doing. Okay, go to that next paragraph. But yourselves.
It says, but you yourselves perfectly well know that to produce the possibility of the expression of such wishes by all the nations, it is indispensable to trouble in all countries the people's relations with their governments, so as to utterly exhaust humanity with dissension, hatred, struggle, envy, and even by the use of torture, by starvation, by the inoculation of diseases.
So it tells you right here that people don't even wish to have a ruler come in and give us peace and take us in the right directions. That's what it says. It says of such wishes by all nations is indispensable. Okay, and then it says in the people's relations with their government is as to utterly exhaust humanity. So they're exhausting it right now through all these different things that they're doing to us. Exhaust humanity. They're trying to get rid of you in many different ways, the government, and they're named off a few through hatred, struggle. So the whole world, a lot of people hate each other, right? There's a bunch of hatred out here. And who started that hatred? The government. The struggle. We already know they started the struggle. They gave many people is in the ghettos in the struggle because of them. Envy. And even by the use of torture, starvation. America's at an all-time high right now for starvation. Look it up. Right now, America is at an all-time high. 1 out of 5 children in America right now is starving by diseases. So these are just some of the examples that it tells you that they're doing to exhaust humanity. Hatred, struggle, envy, torture, starvation, diseases. Read the rest.
It says,
But remember, this Pale Horse book was written in the late 50s, like late 59, early 60s, I want to say. Pale Horse book has been around for a long time. So this information has been around for a while, and this is just someone kind of telling you what somebody that had insight on the government on what they were doing way back then. Go ahead. By one, or so that.
It says, by one, so that Joim see no other issue than to take refuge in our complete sovereignty in money and all else. But if we give the nations of the world a breathing space, the moment we long for is hardly likely ever to arrive.
So the moment you're waiting on, people want the government to change. They want peace. They want better government. But it says, but if we give the nations of the world breathing space, so if nobody calls them out, if nobody starts calling Obama and them out on Obamacare and starts talking smack to them, so if we give the nations of the world a breathing space, the moment we long for is hardly likely to ever to arrive. So if we don't start putting pressure on the government to change and stop all this stuff, what we want will never happen. But guess what? Everybody's scared of the government. Between Bush and Obama over the last, 16 years? Man, that's a long time. Between Bush and Obama over the last 16 years, they have made it so hard for you to go in and speak your rights against the government. See, before Bush, you can go in and be like, hey, I don't like that and I don't appreciate that, and you wouldn't get in trouble. Now you can go somewhere and be like, hey, man, government, I'm upset. Government will just go hide you away in the FEMA camp and say, shut up.
Dark sites.
Right. So now they made it hard to where you can't even voice your opinion towards the government no more. You do, you're a terrorist. Okay? The rest, that next 2 paragraphs on this is really good information, but we're not going to read it. We're going to get to the lesson because we're already at 8:40. All right? But if anybody that has this book, read the next 2 paragraphs. But I just wanted to show you that it says the government is trying to utterly exhaust humanity. And through that, they're bringing different ways, different tactics. And the number one is disease. Okay, so that's why so anytime you have a major outbreak in a disease, it's the government. Because let me tell you something. Put it together. Say the measles, for example. If it would have just come from a normal person or something like that, it would already be... See, if something comes from us and we're passing it to the next person, the disease will never go away. Y'all hear what I'm saying?
That's so true, because I just seen right here on the vaccines, it said that you're contagious for 28 days.
Right.
You even get vaccinated.
The disease will never go away. So if the measles was coming from us, we would just keep passing it back and forth to each other. It would never go away. But the measles outbreak, it goes away. And then they bring it back when they want to. So that's how you know they're controlling it. Because if it was something that you and I was passing back and forth, it wouldn't just go away like that. It would always be a scare, if that makes sense. All right? So let's get to the precepts. We're going to start off in Revelations 13:1 tonight. So we're going to tie these diseases and everything that the government is doing along with the Obamacare. So you have to prepare your spirit to realize what's going on, because if you don't prepare it, then you can't put this together. You won't be able to put it together and see what they're doing. So we're going to tie all the diseases and everything they bring in: Ebola, RSV, now the measles outbreak, and then by April it'll be something else. Smallpox, it'll be something else. But nowadays they got what's called shingles. And shingles is kind of overtaking smallpox and chickenpox. Everywhere you look, you're like, shingle, where it come from? You know what I mean?
I'm getting chickenpox again.
Right, but still, though, but they're going to put. But what I'm saying though, so this next time around, it might not be called smallpox. It might be called shingles. Okay. All right, Revelations 13:1.
We're in the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 1. And it reads, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as feet of a bear, and his mouth as mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority."
So it says this beast that we're going to break down tonight, which is the government, which is the world. The beast is the world, which is the overall government, your head people in the government, your big wigs. So it's the overall system that we live through. And it says right here that the dragon gave the beast power. It says the dragon gave the beast his power, and the dragon gave the beast his seat and great authority. Go ahead.
Verse 3, we're in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 3. It says, "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast."
So the world wondered after the beast. It says the world. It didn't say one country. It didn't say Europe wondered after the beast. It didn't say the Middle East wondered after the beast. It didn't say Asia. It says, and all the world. So anybody that's brought into this world is worshiping the beast. The moment you come into the world, you're worshiping the beast. Until your parents wake you up and bring you from the beast, you're born into the beast. And so many people are going to say, no, I'm not born into the beast. Okay, then don't you do everything that America asks you to do? Don't you participate in every sin that's in America? You follow their laws, you do everything they say. You're scared of their government instead of the Most High, so therefore you're worshiping the beast. You're born into following the beast. So that's why we as parents have to work so hard now when you bring your kid into this world to train them not to follow after the beast, because every time they go to school, every time they do something, it's the beast. Everything's the beast. So if you don't want your kid following the beast, you got to train him not to. But if you let your kid go to school every day and being part of the beast, it's kind of hard to train him 100% to follow the Most High. I don't care how much work you do at home to train your kid to follow the Most High. If you send them to school and send them to other places, they're going to have a certain percentage of the beast in their body still. This is point blank. Break down the word wonder.
We have wonder. It is G2296. Wondered is G2296. We have Thaumazo, and it is THAUMAZO, MAZO, and it is to wonder, by implication to admire. Admire, have in admiration, marvel, wonder.
So wondered is to admire. So the whole world is admiring the beast. Okay, what does it mean when it says the whole world is admiring the beast? Everything that you do in this world, all the way to sports, just like the Super Bowl, people just watched this week. People admire that stuff. They can't wait. Give them the definition for admire.
We have admire. It is to regard with wonder or surprise, mingled with approbation, esteem, reverence, or affection.
So affection. Alright? So people that admire, you admire your Jordans, you admire your house, you admire your car, you admire your clothes, you admire everything that's in America. So therefore, you're worshiping the beast. So don't say this ain't you. It's everybody. Because we all still do this stuff. That's why the Most High says in Revelations 18, leave my people. Come out of her so you don't be a part of that. She's sinning. This place is sinning. And you can't justify your own faith. You can't say, well, I know those Jordans that they made is sin, but I'm going to wear them, and since I'm a righteous man, and I know what I'm doing right, they're not a sin on my feet. Listen, you wear them, you do it, you're admiring the beast. Point blank. Verse 4.
We in Revelation chapter 13 verse 4, it says, and they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
So they worship the dragon also. So the dragon that gave the beast the power, the dragon that gave the beast his seat, people also worships the dragon. Go ahead.
And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
The beast is the best thing we got going. This is our leader. Who can make war with the beast? Nobody can take the beast down. The beast is the best thing we got.
That's right. It's true.
Nah, no, listen, America, listen, I'm not going, I know the Bible tells me to leave America. Or even China. I know the Bible tells me to leave America. But you know what? I love America so much. Who's better than America? And the Bible's telling you that the Bible's better than America. The Bible's telling you I'm going to defeat America. How about that? The Most High is saying through the scriptures, precepts, I'm going to defeat America, which is the beast. Because right now the beast is the whole world, but who runs the world? America. So America is the head of the beast. So the Most High says, I'm going to defeat the beast. So right here they just said, who was able to make war with the beast? Who can defeat the beast? Well, the Most High said he's going to defeat the beast. But the people said, nah, America is the best. Yeah, Most High, I know you told me to leave that place, but I can't, because America showed me that there's no place better than this place. Okay, so who was the dragon? Satan. Alright, it says the dragon gave the beast his seat. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 48:1. So the dragon is Satan who's being worshipped. So if Satan's being worshipped, now the creator, which is Ahia, he's getting no credit, right? If Satan, which is the dragon who brought in the beast, which is a system we all live under, if everybody's worshiping those two, where's the Most High at? Where is he getting his credit at? You can't have three now. I mean, it's impossible. All right. Isaiah 48:1.
We're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 1. And it reads, Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Most High, and make mention of Ahiah of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness.
So it says, you people make mention of the Most High. You people swear by the name of the Most High and make mention of the God of Israel. So people talk about the Most High, but they don't know who he is. If you don't know who the Most High is, how you going to talk about him? So many people talking about, yeah, I follow God. Who? What God? Well, the God of the Bible. No, you don't, because the God of the Bible is the God of Israel. And if you don't know who he is and that his name is Ahiah, you're not following him. Point blank. But it says, and make mention of the God of Israel, but not in host in his name. So what does that mean? You make mention of the God. I follow the God of the Bible, but you don't make mention. Sorry about that. But you don't, but not in truth nor in righteousness. So there's no truth coming from what you're saying. So when you come up to somebody like, yeah, I follow God, the God of the Bible and stuff, but if they're not following the God of Israel, there's no truth in it. Verse 2.
Verse 2. It says, For they call themselves of the holy city, and stay themselves upon the Ahiah of Israel. The Most High of hosts is his name.
So the government, they call themselves of the holy city. That's why you have them Jewish people, them Khazars sitting over there right now in Israel calling themselves of the holy city. Which is ran by who? America. Right? America did that on purpose, you guys. That's why Israel, every time they get in trouble, they turn to who? America. But America put those people over there and they keep their foot on them and tell them that they are the true people. So you and I, when we wake up, we're lost in the dust. And when we start talking to people about the true Jews, people are like, no, those people are already sitting in Israel waiting on the Messiah. When you read the Bible, the precept says his true people are scattered. And they will be scattered in the last days. So if the Bible says the true people of Israel will be scattered in the last days, well, who are those people sitting in Israel right now? Because they ain't been scattered yet. All right, read the rest. Skip down to verse 7.
We're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 7. And it reads, They are created now, and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldst say, Behold, I knew them.
I knew them. I once knew them. I once knew Israel. I once knew my people. But he said they created now. And not from the beginning. So what does that mean? From the beginning, I created the world and people like to be like this. But now they are created. So the moment they're born from the womb, they're already following the beast. So they're now created now. And they're like machines now. That's what it means. They are now created. The beast has everybody walking in their ways. The beast comes and say, hey, I want you to do this. So you're created now. You're following the ways of the beast. All right. Verse 8.
We're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 8. It says, Yet thou heardest not. Yeah, thou knewest not.
Y'all don't know me. Y'all ain't never heard from the beginning. Y'all have not listened from the beginning. So therefore, y'all don't know the God of Israel. That's why he says there's no truth in them, nor in righteous. Because y'all never hearkened to me. Y'all never heard me. So since you never heard my voice, you know me not. So the same thing is still happening today. That's why when we go and we try to speak the true words to people, they do this. Hey, what are you talking about? Where you get that information from? The King James Bible? And they be like, what Bible is that? The King James? Oh, well, I got the new international. Well, that's why you ain't getting this type of interpretation, because you got the new international. Huh? Yeah.
Hey, that's real.
That's true though. Somebody like, man, you ain't got the new international.
Hey, where you at?
Man, you behind, man. Nah, see, nah, that ain't the case though. We all right, next one. Verse 8.
We in verse 8.
Just read the rest. Read it off.
It says, "Yet thou heardest not, yet thou knewest not. Yet from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously, and was called a transgressor from the womb."
So the moment we're born, we're sinners. The moment you're born into the world now, we're sinners. Why? Because you're bringing the kid right into Babylon. They say, do this, and do this, and eat this, and eat this, and eat this, and wear this, and wear this, and wear this. So just right from the womb, if you're not teaching them the laws and the ways of the Most High, they're transgressors. Verse 9.
Verse 9. "For my name's sake will I defer mine anger."
He said look, for his name's sake, he ain't gonna sit back on this. Okay? Go ahead.
"And for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off."
So the Most High says, for my name's sake, I will defer my anger. So I'm going to delay my anger for my name's sake. What's his name's sake? People going around here calling his son Jesus. People going around here calling him Allah. People going around here calling him Jehovah. So he says, for my name's sake, I'm coming for my, just for my name's sake. All right, I'm going to defer my anger. Okay, verse 10.
Verse 10. "Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake, will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another."
Listen, I'm not going to give my glory to this dragon. The whole world is worshiping Satan. The whole world is worshiping Jesus and Allah and Jehovah. He says, listen, I'm not going to give nobody else my glory. I'm not going to sit back and let y'all praise these people and put these people on pedestals. I'm not going to let y'all give give my glory unto another person. But he says, for how should my name be polluted? So many people say, well, he don't have a name. His name is God. Why does it say right here then his name is being polluted? And when you go to Isaiah 48:1, he says, and make mention of who? The God of Israel. And the God of Israel is the God that gave his name to who? Moses. That's the God of Israel. The God that gave his name to Moses, but his name is being polluted because no one is using it. And then when you have knowledge, finally find the name and try to go give it to somebody, they laugh at you. You Muslim? Nah, when I tell people his name, is that Muslim or something? Nah, man, what's wrong with you? It's Hebrew. Okay, verse 10. Oh no, you read 11? All right, let's go back to Revelations. Revelations 13:7. So he says, now these people who are worshiping the dragon, which is Satan, and nobody's worshiping the true creator Ahia, he says, you guys are created now. Y'all not even what my plan was for y'all. Y'all not even that no more. Y'all being created. Okay. 13:7, Revelations.
We're in the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 7. And it was given to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
So the beast has power over everybody. I don't care what nation you're from, what language you speak, the beast has power over you. And the beast, the authority that it was just speaking of in the beginning part of 13, says the dragon gave him his seat and authority to do what? To make war with the saints. So that's the beast. That's his main goal. The beast's main goal is to make war with the saints, the true people of the Most High. Let's go to Ephesians 6 and 12. We're going to hit this precept until y'all know it by heart. All right, go ahead.
We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places."
So it says we don't wrestle against each other, which is flesh and blood. We need to be worrying and wrestling with the principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, which is the beast, which is the war. Go back to Revelation 13:7. So it says, "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints." So the war is this spiritual war that we're speaking of in Revelation 6:12. All right. What consists of this war? The religions. Okay. They first set up all the religions. They said so first the government, the European invasion, they come in, they disease you out. Then once they disease you out, they take away your heritage. So you don't know who you are, and then you don't know who the God of Israel is, who is Ahia. And then the next thing they do, they bombard you with their religions. And all these religions is just nothing but a spiritual prison. That's what these religions are. It's a spiritual prison. And Satan is the minister. All right? And every day you go visit him, he just puts you under a different spell. Every time you go to these churches, you're getting put under different spells. And that's why when somebody brings the real word to you and is enlightened by the Most High, you can't even come from under the spell. You hypnotized. That's why when you try to go talk to people and you're trying to give them the word, and you be looking at them like, man, are you serious? This is clear as day what I'm showing you. And they just be like, I don't see what you're seeing. Because Satan's already got them hypnotized through the religions, so they're under a spell. All right, but you will never realize that until you're in this war. Verse 8.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 8. It says, "And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the book of life, of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world."
So it says, so once you wake up to the truth, and you continue to worship the beast. Now let's understand the word worship here. The word worship, okay, is just speaking of you participating. So just because you're not on your knees every night saying, "Thank you, government. Thank you, America. I love America," doesn't mean you're not worshiping it. Okay? If you're partaking here in this place, that means you're worshiping it. And the Most High says, anybody that's partaking here and doing what they have you do, your name is not written in the book of life. So let me give y'all some advice. As long as we stay here and continue to do all these pagan things and sin, our name is not in that book yet. You want your name to be in that book come Judgment Day? You need to stop. And you need to stop trying to justify why it's right or why it's cool to eat the pork. So many people are like, well, you know what? Like this guy the other night was trying to tell me that the Most High purged all meats and pork is cool now. And he took me to the precept though. It said that. He said he purged all meats. But I had to break it down for him and show him that the word meats means food. He's purged all food. Why? Because we know in our last days, once we wake up to the truth, you start realizing that the beast, which is the government, is poisoning all the food. Everything we pick up has got something wrong with it. So the Most High says, don't worry about it. Don't spend your life worrying about food to eat. I purged it. It's clean. Just eat it. Even though they put the demon spirit in it and they've done what they did to it, it's fine. Anything I've already made clean in Leviticus, eat it. But he just say, now I purged all meat, so anything that I made unclean in the law is now good.
Yeah, they didn't say that.
No.
Don't say nothing like that. But that's what they get from it. But until you have the Strong's in front of you, you don't understand that the word meats means food. And then according to the Bible, the word cattle is your meat. How about that? If he's talking about the word meat, he would specifically say cattle. Okay? But when he says, I give you meat to eat, he's talking about I give you food. And a lot of times in representation of the Bible, when he says, I give you meat to eat or food, he's talking about these precepts. That's why when he told Ezekiel, go eat the roll, he wasn't telling Ezekiel to go to the grocery store and get a roll to eat.
Sweet.
Right. A Hawaiian roll?
Oh,
No, he says, Ezekiel, eat the roll, which is the Bible. Okay? But so many people got it confused. Lack of understanding. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear.
Hey, if you want your name to be in the book of life, you better hear this information. Go ahead.
Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So if you keep following their ways, which is sin and pagan, which is captivity in the flesh, you're going to go into captivity when comes judgment day. You got to get away if you don't want to go into captivity. Go ahead.
He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
So the people that's doing this to us, the Most High says they're going to go into captivity. But if you keep following them, you're going to go with them. But here's the patience of the saints. So his saints, he's talking to you right now. Here's the patience. This is what I need you to do. Okay? I'm going to give you the insight on who this beast is so you know what to do. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Revelation chapter 13 verse 11, it says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
So what does it mean in verse 12 when it says, and he exercised all powers of the first beast before him? Who's the first beast? The first beast was the Roman Empire. Okay? When the Roman Empire came in and took down the Grecians and had all the power of the world, this was the first beast. But the Roman Empire was taken down, right? Roman Empire was taken down. And then what did they do? They sent the beast over here. They brought the beast to America. And said, all right, since we've been taken down over this way, we're just going to transfer the beast over there. So now America is the second beast that's now ruling the world, like the Roman Empire at one point in time. But what a lot of people have to understand is once the Most High comes back and takes down this beast, America, guess who's going to rise again? The Roman Empire. In the last days, the Roman Empire will be back and bigger than ever. Why? Because Obama and all the head bigwigs of the world will be in Rome, the new Roman Empire. That's where they're all going to be. They're going to destroy the rest of the world, and then they're all going to run back to Rome. Read.
We in verse 14. Revelation chapter 13 verse 14. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live.
So that's why a lot of people, when they say, well, Babylon is Rome. Well, yeah, you're right. Okay. But the daughter of Babylon is America. Okay? Which Great Britain brought the whore over here. Okay? So that's why America became the daughter of Babylon, because Great Britain brought it here. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So if you don't follow the ways of this government, they're just going to kill you off. So the moment they make a mandate for vaccination, you don't do it, they going to find a way to just off you. You don't want to get the Obama chip? All right, well, we'll just take you out of here then. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Okay, so it tells you that it's going to come a time to where they're going to put a mark in your hand, which is the chip. And once they put this mark in his hand, they're going to tell you, you can't buy or sell. I don't care who you are, a rich person or a poor person, a free person, or someone that's in prison. I don't care who you are. You're going to get this mark. All right? And if you don't get the mark, you're going to get killed. All right? So that's basically what it's just telling us right there. All right? Let's go to Revelation 16:1.
That's 603.
Well, 603 score is 666. So that lets you know anything you do that represents 666. So the Bible tells you right here who the beast is. 666. And look it up. The Pope, you know that big old seat he sits in? That big old gold chair he sits in the congregation? Has 666 marked under his chair. Now, dealing with the internet. www is what? So now that we learn in Hebrew, what is W? What is Y? 6. So in Hebrew, Y, which is W, is the number 6. So that's why www, every time you log onto the internet, is 666. It's Satan. So it's every time you get on the internet, you worship Satan. Listen, you guys, they got us rammed into this whole thing so tough to where you don't even realize it. Just like the Monster drinks. That Monster drinks, that symbol on there. What is it? It's the Y. It's 3 Y's. When you look at the Monster drink, pull it up tonight. And now that you know Hebrew, it's the Y symbol. And it's 3 of them. 666. So it's in a lot of things, you guys. So they're not, there's no secret. Okay? It's out in the open who these people are. That's why your top level celebrities and your top level athletes, they give praises to their God every time they step out on the court or every time they do something. That's why you always see LeBron throwing up the 666, or somebody in NFL, they throw it up over their eye, Jay-Z or whatever. When they at the beginning of the concert, in the middle, they got to do it so many times. I'm pretty sure you know it, right? They have to do it so many times. All right, to show to pay respect to the beast. Okay, go ahead.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image."
All right. So it says, it says, "And I heard a great voice, temple, saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth." Okay. So it says, "Go pour out my wrath upon the earth." And the first angel went and poured out his vial upon the earth to those who received the mark of the beast. So you have so many people that try to justify. I didn't talk to so many people when I try to tell them about the beast. They're like, well, you know, I don't think that's true. If I got the mark, the chip, that I'm not going to be saved. And there's so many people tell you that, and you try to tell them, listen, if you get the chip, you don't have a chance to be saved anymore. But I don't think that's true. What do you mean? The Most High just said, he says in so many ways, if you get that chip, you have no opportunity to be saved. So let's do this then. So what's going to happen? Say in 3 months, Obama does what do they call it when he addresses the nation? State of something? State of the Union. Okay, so Obama, say by June, Obama says, all right, State of the Union, I gotta address the nation. And he comes out, emergency on every TV. It is now a mandate that every American rush to the droves and get the chip. What are you going to do? Since everybody's taking it so lightly, everybody think is listen, if it's in the Bible, it's going to come to pass. And according to the precepts, the Bible says Obama is the one that's going to push the button on it. When you read the precepts, according to Daniel, he is the one that's going to do this. And look, it's happening. Just like the Bible says, it's happening. So what are you going to do the moment they say it's mandate? What are you going to do? If you're not prepared, what are you going to do? That's why he tells us to leave. Hey, get out of here. Prepare yourself and get out of there before they make that mandatory. You don't want to do that. Because if you're here, you're going to get the mark. Or you're going to get killed on the spot. And I can tell you right now, there ain't too many people that's going to get killed. I can tell you right now, June come and he says it's mandatory. So many people gonna be like, man, I know what the Bible says, but you know what? I love the flesh. I want to keep living, so you know what? Give me that chip. There's only gonna be so many people that's gonna stick to the spirit and say, hey, you know what? Just take me. Hey, listen, take me out right now. Don't even waste your time with me. There's only going to be a handful of people that's going to have that true spirit to do that, because everybody else is too scared to leave the flesh. Everybody is too scared to die. So since you're scared to die, knowing the truth, you're still going to get the mark. And then you're going to be one of those people hoping, hoping that these precepts are not true. All right, you got to be careful, you guys. Let's go to Revelations 14. And 8. And 8. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 8, and it reads, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark on the forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
So it says, any man that worship the beast and his image and receive the mark in his hand shall drink the wrath of the Most High, and shall be tormented with fire. That's clear as day. That's clear as day is what that's saying. So I don't care who you are, you can't justify that. Revelations 19 and 19.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 19. And it reads, and I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
So it says that he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast. So the government is going to deceive. They're going to trick people in a way to receive the chip. So like right now, their pitch on the chip is, if you get the chip, you don't need no driver's license. You don't need no credit cards no more. You don't even need no bank account. You don't need, everything will be all right here and make it valuable for you. You'll be able to do everything. You'll have your whole history of your medical history, everything. So they're making it to a point to where they're deceiving people and making it like a something good to do, like it's going to be a leisure.
A benefit.
Yeah. Like it's going to be a leisure for them. So people are like, you know what? Hey, I'll do that. So they're being deceived to take the mark. And then it says, verse 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. So all these preachers that, listen, you're going to have so many preachers that's going to pump the congregation to go get the chip. Instead of the preacher teaching what we're going over right now, every preacher should already go over this at least once a month with their congregation just to remind them. That way when the time gets close, they know what to do. But preachers are scared to talk about this. And then for one, 90% of the preachers out there, they can't even make it through Revelations. They don't understand. That's why they stay away from it. They like Revelations. They just do away with Revelations, period, because they don't understand. But it says right here, you guys, listen. Don't do it. Don't be a part of it. And this is what they should be teaching. And they're not. All right? Let's go to Revelation 16 and 14. So these guys, they think they're going to defeat the Messiah. Verse 19 started off, it says, "And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army." So the government really thinks. Go back to 19 and 19. Read 19 and 19 again.
In the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 19, it says, "And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army."
So him that sat on the horse is talking about Yeshaya. Him that sat on the horse is Yeshaya. So it says, and they gathered their army, the kings of the earth, which is the government, gathered their armies together to make war against him and against his army. So Yeshaya, he's going to come back and he's going to form an army. And we're going to talk about that also. See, that's why I keep saying in Ephesians 6 and 12, you got to know whose side you're on, because when he come back, he's going to have the army waiting on you. And if you're in the spirit, you're going to be waiting for this battle. But it says the beast is getting ready to fight against the Messiah when he come back. They really think they are going to be able to take him down. Okay? Let's go to Obadiah. Where is it? Sorry, give me a second, guys. Obadiah 1. Is it 10? Nah, hold on. I got it. It's right here. 4. Obadiah 4. 1 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
We're in the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 4. And it reads, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Most High."
So this is NASA. This is your NASA program. So it says, "Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle." So every time NASA gets up to Mars and places like that, what's their communication back down to Earth? The eagle has landed. And though thou set thy nest among the stars. So what are they doing in NASA? Every time they go among the stars, they're setting their nest up there. They're building. They're setting their weaponry up there. They're getting their weapons and everything ready, because they truly think when the Messiah comes back, when they see him coming out of the sky, they're going to be able to fight. They think they're going to be able to slow him down. They truly believe that, you guys. All right, Revelation 16 and 14.
We're in the book of Revelation.
But you got to understand, the Messiah, he got a whole nother plan. All right, see, this false doctrine that they teaching everybody, that when the Messiah is coming back, he's going to be happy. He's coming back with a smile on his face. He's coming to grab your hands. He's going to save you from the rapture. And once he saves you from the rapture, y'all going to skip through the wilderness with holding hands, and everything's going to be fun. Messiah's coming back with red, fiery eyes. And he's coming back to put blood on his pure white clothing, his raiment. So if he's coming to put blood on his pure white raiment, what does that mean? He's coming to take some people down. There ain't going to be nothing nice about the Messiah coming back. It's going to be white, looking nice and pretty, huh? Revelation 16 and 14.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 14. It says, "For they are the spirits of devils."
Say it again.
For they are the spirits of devils.
Talking about your government. Go ahead.
Working miracles.
Working. Listen. So this is why you got so many people that say, "I'm blessed." This is what they think blessed is. Hey, I got a good job. I got a nice house, nice car, I get paid good, so I'm blessed. The devil works miracles also. The devil will deceive you and make you think you're blessed through the materialistic world. There ain't no type of blessing in that world. You've been deceived through the devil thinking you're blessed. Well, I know I'm blessed because I got good things. Says who? According to the Most High, the more things that you have in the flesh is abomination. So you far from a blessing. Read it again.
We're in Revelation 16 and 14. It says, "For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of the Ahaya Almighty."
So they getting ready for the battle. And it says, and these spirits of the devils are working great miracles through these kings of the earth, who's deceiving the whole world. Okay? Let's clarify how the devil is giving these kings these miracles. Let's go to Matthew 4 and 8. Because a lot of people, like I said, you got to be real clerical when you read these precepts for certain people. Because like just reading what we read, a lot of people are like, well, that don't mean that the government is being operated by Satan. Oh, man, come on now. Well, let me give you another precept just to cross that T. All right, make it a T instead of a I or a L. Let me a small case L. You think that's a small case L? No, that's a T. Let me cross it for you. Matthew 4 and 8.
We're in the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 8. And it reads again, "The devil taketh him up into a high exceeding mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. And he saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Yeshua unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, and him only shalt thou serve."
So you can't serve both. But if you live in America, which is Babylon, and you continue to do all these sins here, you're serving America. And if you continue to be a happy slave and keep getting up and going to work and being a resource for the government, and you're serving them, you're worshiping. We got to pull away from serving this government. I'm telling you guys, and always, I know you need the money to pay your bills. Trust me, I know that. I'm not saying go cold turkey on work. Go cold turkey on supporting the government. But you have to understand, spirit-wise, what you're doing is somewhat of a sin, and you got to learn how to pull away from it. We got to learn how to come together as a group and stop supporting the government, because as long as we support the government, we're serving him. Okay? But the beginning of this verse 8 says, "And the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world." So the devil, when Yeshua was in the wilderness fasting for the 40 days, Satan came to him and tried to offer him all these things. And he tried to offer him the kingdoms of the world, and said unto them, "All these things will I give to you if you worship me." But Yeshua, which is the Messiah, said, "Get the hint, Satan. Now listen, I only serve the Father." So since Yeshua turned Satan down, who did Satan turn to? He turned to the kings of this earth, which is your government, and gave them the kingdom and gave them the high power. So that's why when we reading so far as telling you that the dragon gave the beast his seat. All right. Verse 14 and 16, Revelation 16 and 14 says, "For they are the spirits of the devil." So the devil is the one that's giving these people these powers. Revelations 19 and 11. So we have to understand what's going here. This is how your Bilderbergers, your Rothschilds, your Bill Gates, and all these people got to their spots. Because they accepted the kingdom from Satan, which is Baphomet. They turned their life over to Baphomet and said, "Hey, I'll take what the Messiah didn't take. Can we have him?" And then Satan said, "Okay, then yeah, this is what I need you to do. First, we're going to start with the entertainment world. Music, TV, everything. We're going to start there. And then we'll bring in all these religions. And then by the time they realize what's going on, we're going to be fighting." Go ahead.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 11. And it reads, And I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war.
So this is the horse, the white horse. This is the Messiah coming back, and he said he's coming back to make war. He ain't coming back to hold hands and be ha ha. He's coming back to make war against this beast, which is the government. Go ahead.
Verse 12, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
His eyes was pure. He was happy. Is that what it say? Read it again.
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
That means he's upset. Fierce. Fire is fierce. Go ahead.
And on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written, that no man knew but he himself.
So when it says in his head had many crowns, every kingdom that he comes, so when he comes back, every nation and every king that he takes down, it's another crown on his head because he's taking the crown from that king. So when he comes back, Asia, all right, give me that crown. EU, Roman Empire, give me that crown. America, give me that crown from the king. So he's taking the crowns from all these kings. Go ahead.
Verse 13, and he was clothed in a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High.
So he's dipped in blood after he takes these crowns. After he make war and he takes the crown, he's dipped in blood. His clothing is dipped in blood. Blood's everywhere. There ain't nothing nice about the Messiah coming back. Verse 14.
Verse 14, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Okay. Let's go back to Revelation 16 and 14. Yeah. 16 and 15. Revelation 16 and 15.
We're in the book of Revelations, chapter 16, verse 15, and it says, Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garment, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon.
So it says when the Messiah comes back, he's going to gather the people together in Hebrew tongue. So why are these religions not teaching Hebrew then, if that's the case? Why is nobody trying to learn Hebrew if the Messiah say he's coming back, he's going to be speaking in Hebrew tongue? So when the Messiah comes back, he's not going to say, okay, all my Christians, let's go. All my Mormons, let's go. All my Muslims. No. The Messiah's going to come back and say, Judah, Levi, Issachar. He's going to gather them together, but he's going to be speaking in the Hebrew tongue. Okay? It ain't going to be none of that English stuff, that doctrine that you've been taught. You've been deceived and lied, and you're going to be the person that is speaking of in verse 15. Read verse 15 again. This is everybody. A lot of people going to be verse 15. Read it.
We're in Revelation chapter 16, verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked.
Okay, so it says, Behold, I come as a thief in the night. So the Messiah says, I'm coming when you least expect it. And blessed is he that watches. So the person that's keeping guard and studying and doing what they need to do, blessed is he that keepeth watching and keepeth his garment. So he's keeping his garment on, because you're prepared. When you're prepared, you'll be ready for when the Messiah comes. But if you're not prepared, you're going to be caught naked. So like if you're naked and you take a shower and your kid come in the room or somebody come in the room, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to do this. Like, get out of here. So that's what everybody going to do when the Messiah comes. They're going, oh, here they go. They're going to try to, no. But people that are already going to already have their garment on and be ready. When they see him, they be like, here he come. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's get it. Okay? Let's break down the word. Let's break down Armageddon. Well, you know what? Let's skip that, because I would have to go into the Old Testament to show y'all the word Armageddon, not the Hebrew. Read down to verse 18.
We in verse 17. Revelation chapter 16, verse 17. And it says, And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great.
Read it more.
And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And the great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away; the mountains were not found.
Okay, so when the Messiah comes back, there are going to be great thunders, lightning, great earthquakes, something like nobody's never seen before. All right, and he's going to split the city into 3 parts. All right, and all these nations will fall. Okay, so nobody is going to withstand him when he comes back. All right, let's go to Revelations 20 and 6. We got like 15 minutes left. I want to make sure we get through these. Revelations 20 and 6. So you have to understand, you guys, you have to be prepared. And if you don't want to get caught naked, you need to start. So what does that mean? You don't want to get caught naked. All right. A good example is now that so a lot of us is woken up to the truth. All right. Now we know what we need to do for salvation. Okay? We know now. Now, just because we know what we need to do for salvation, does that mean we did it? Does that mean we did everything we need to do? So now that you know the truth, and it shows you all these things you need to change to get salvation. People don't just change everything right away, because people think they got time. People say, okay, I know I got to change these 100 things, but I'm going to do it on my leisure. I'm going to change a couple now, and then in a couple of months, I'll change that. Then in a couple of months, I'll change that. So if you're one of those people that's kind of changing stuff as you go when you want to, all right, I'll stop doing that sin when I feel need. And then if you die and something happen, you're going to get caught naked when the Messiah comes. Why? Because you know the truth. You're doing half of your stuff right, but then you're still doing stuff that you knew you were supposed to stop a long time ago. You're still doing it. So you're going to get caught naked. Because you know the truth. You know it. And then when you come, you're going to be like, oh, man, he's here. I didn't change that yet. It's going to be too late. So you're going to get caught naked. So that's why it's time to change now. If you know you're sinning, you know you're doing something wrong, don't give yourself a time. Don't say, all right, well, I'm going to change that by next year. You might not make it. Don't get caught naked. Put your clothing on and change right now. You know you got to sin, and you're reading the Bible, change it now. Pray to the Most High and say, I need to change this ASAP. I can't wait. All right? Revelations 20 and 6. There's so many people that falls in the truth, they do that. They fall into the truth, and they see the truth all throughout the precepts, but then they don't follow it 100%. So now you're going to get caught naked because you're not following the words 100%. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 6. It says, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. But they shall be priests of the Most High and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
So this is talking about the 144,000. Okay? So the Messiah is coming to redeem us all. Alright? And the 144,000 will help him take down the kings. That's why it says, blessed and holy is he that take part in the first resurrection. So it's talking about the 144,000. So if you can do and become righteous and become part of that 144,000, you will be part of the first resurrection when he comes. When the Messiah comes back, all right, you'll be part of that first resurrection, and you'll go throughout the earth fighting with him, taking these people down, taking these Gentiles down. You know, like right now. That's why I tell you all the time, I can't wait till he say sick 'em. Because right now I'm just waiting patiently. You see so much destruction, so much vanity out there with the world. And sometimes when you be out there and you see some of these Gentiles and these people doing certain things, you just want to go slap them straight. You're like, man, I just want to do something to them. But that's why he says, when we read earlier, here's the patience of the saints. Stay patient. Stay patient. Because I'm going to release y'all. I'm going to sick y'all on them. All right? The ones that is blessed to reign, to reign with me for the 1,000 years, y'all going to have all the fun taking these people down. All right, Revelation 17 and 12. But hey, I know I want to do what I can to become a part of that 144,000. I mean, what do I got to do? Sign me up. The only way you can be signed up is by changing and following the precepts 100%. All right, you're not gonna be part of the 144,000 if you're only following the precepts 60% or 70%, even 90%. You can be following the precepts 90%. Nah, you're not going to be one of these guys. It's got to be 100. Go ahead. Revelation 17 and 12.
We're in the book of Revelations, chapter 17, verse 12. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings in 1 hour with the beast."
So it says, so the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So these 10 horns, they sold with the beast to receive their power here on the earth. Go ahead.
Verse 13, "These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is master of masters, and king of kings. And they that are with him are called, and chosen, and faithful."
So it says the Lamb, which is the Messiah, he shall overcome these people. Because he's the Lord of the lords and the kings of the kings. He's the number one guy. Alright? And the people that are with him are the chosen ones and are the faithful ones. So the ones that stay faithful in the flesh, these will be the people that will be reigning with the Messiah. Okay? But these 10 horns that is speaking of the EU. Okay? And the EU, this is when the EU started. See, when the EU started, it was really powerful, and it consisted of 10 powerful countries that was running everything. But now the EU, since I want to say 2000 or 2001, the EU has grown. It's no longer consist of just 10 countries running everything in Europe. Now the EU is up to about 28. Now when you look up the EU on the internet, it shows like 28 members, 28 countries that help partake. But now you got to understand, now you have so many small countries now that wasn't around years and years and years ago. So now they're part of the EU. But when the EU first come into play, it was 10 major countries that was making these decisions and doing everything. So that's why speaking of the 10 horns, speaking of the EU. Okay? And the what's that building in Europe? Is it EU building?
Yeah.
The EU building, you can go to Google and put in, what is put it up for me, brother. What you got? You got it up there? What look that up for me real quick. Go to EU building and see if, and go to images and see if it pulls up. But if you go to he's looking for right now the go to Google and put in the EU building. Just like it sounds, the EU building, and go to images. All right, everybody do that real fast. Go to Google and put in the EU building, and go to images, and look at that building. It's half complete. Why is that building half complete? It ain't no coincidence. It ain't no coincidence that is half complete. Let's go to Genesis 11. Let's go to Genesis 11 real quick. Genesis 11 and just start in 1. I'll stop you and have you skip. Read Genesis 11 and 1 real quick.
We're in the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go, to let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they said, and they had brick for stone and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. Let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
So these Gentiles come together and they found brick, stone, and mortar. So they learned how to build. These Gentiles came together and they found stone, brick, and mortar. And they said, hey, we can build us a city. All right. And when they said that, they said, let us build us a city and a tower. So let us build us a tower, a building that will reach into heaven. That's what these people said. So let us build a city that will reach into heaven. Go ahead.
We are in verse 4.
So now that we know that they're building a city that goes into heaven, now skip down to verse 7.
Verse 7. Go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Most High scattered them abroad thence upon the face of all the earth. And they left off to build the city. And therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Most High did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Most High scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
So it says, once they said, hey, in verse 4, let us build a city and a tower that will reach the tops of the heavens and make a name for ourselves. In verse 7 says, then the Most High told the angels, let us go down there and confound their languages. Because when you read between verse 5 and 7, the Most High came down there and kind of warned them, yeah, listen, y'all don't got to do this. You know that, right? So then the Most High told the angel, let us go down there and confound their language so they can't understand each other's speech. Why? That way they can no longer continue to build this tower into heaven. So if I confound their language, now they can't understand it. So me and Brother James speak English and we're building something, but then all of a sudden now I speak Chinese and he speaks Russian and we can't understand each other. How are we going to continue to build? It's going to stop right now. Instantly stop. All right. So the building that they was building, once the Most High confounded their language, it stopped them to where they can't understand each other. And once he stopped that, the building, what they was building stopped right there. All right. And therefore the name of the building was called Babel. Okay. The name of the building was called Babel. So that's why you see when you look at the EU building, it's half done. Because it's basically after the model of Babel, what they was doing right here. Now, what they were doing right here in Genesis 11, they was serious. They said, let us build a building that will reach into heaven. Guess how high this building was? It took a full year to get from the bottom to the top of the building. A full year, because they were still building it. So the modders, the people that was with the brick, so if I was helping with this building, I would have to get brick and I would have to go on a journey and take it to the people to the top. And it took a full year, full journey to get just your bag of bricks to the top so they can continue to build. That's how big this building was. But the Most High said enough is enough. And he cut it off and it was called Babel. And that's why you have what you see when you see the EU today emulating the same thing that was going on right here. They says, so that's why the EU is called Babylon. Europe, these guys, so that's where you get Babylon from, because they just continued the same things. Okay, let's go to Revelations 18, and we'll close it out right here. Well, actually, no, we won't. Let's read Revelations 18 and 9. Well, hold on. Read 1 through 4, and then we'll go to 9. Read Revelations 1 through 18, 1 through 4.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. And it reads, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is become a habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
So it says Babylon the great is fallen. It's become the habitation of devils. There's none but foul spirits here. Everything is unclean. Go ahead.
Verse 3, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
So it says all the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. What does that mean? All the kings of the earth has done business with this person. That's what committing fornication is. And all the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of this place. So Babylon, all the places of the earth become rich off this place, which is Babylon. And who is that today in our world? Who becomes rich off of what? Every nation becomes rich off of who? America. Everybody does business through America to bring their wealth up. Verse 4.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
What people is he talking about? He's talking about Israel right here. And I heard another voice from heaven say, come out of her, my people. What does come out of her mean? That's a physical bias right there. That means leave. Come out of her means get out of there. Like Speedy Gonzalez. Pew. Go ahead.
That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plague. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquity.
So her sins have reached into heaven. So NASA going into space doing all that, the Tower of Babel, their sins has reached heaven. So the Most High says, come out of her, my people, because when I come to bring my wrath and take this place down, I don't want you to be a part of it. If you don't want to be a part of those plagues that I'm going to give this place, leave. Skip down to verse 9.
Revelation chapter 18 verse 9, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her. For when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off of...
That's good. So it says the kings of the earth will cry for her once they see, because this is how you know through prophecy, when the Messiah is going to take care of America first. The Most High is going to take care of America first. And when he take care of America, all the kings and all the rest of the world will cry and sigh and say, wow, did that just happen to America? Big bad America. Because remember what we read in the beginning. Who can make war with the beast? That's the question around the world. Nobody can do nothing to the beast. The beast is all tough. So once the Most High takes down America first, because the world ain't gonna just end with the wrath of the Most High. It ain't gonna just wrath, boom, everybody's done. No, that's why he says, "Come out of her, my people," so you don't partake in her plagues. Because my wrath is gonna start with America first, and then the rest of the world will live on for a point in time. So if you want to live for a point in time, get out of her. But if you want to die right now, just stay in America then. Stay in America then. You want to die right now, stay in America. All right? But if you want to live for a little while longer until I come back and take care of the rest of the world, leave America. But I'm going to take care of America first. All right? Let's go to Revelations 20, and then we'll close it out right here. Read Revelations 20 and 1 down to verse 6.
The record started.
Okay. Start off by 1. Praise the Most High. Everybody to Ara. Okay. Rob the evening. So to Rob. Okay, everybody. Lesson. I want to go into information. It's kind of about the beginning a little. What's up? What's on it? Because a lot of people are blinded by what's happening on. So tonight, I'm going to go into information. A lot of the information you guys, we're going to turn it just sensitively back in a sense. Okay, first, I'll open some news. You know we have news a week, but I'll open up for the first 5 minutes, see if anybody has anything like that with this time. If anybody have news they would share with them. Hey, you can go ahead.
So, just telling this mother who was custody for this that they get back.
Where is
this?
it?
Is it?
The guys custody of
Yeah, the past kids. Yes, it's brought in these lives, offer the parent, extra drinks and things of that nature. They're saying that a little more learn that the children's 10 and under. So she got 14 and under. The judge is saying that they're gonna keep around.
So brother said something she can grandmother custody of the kids with PS, and now PS making and the Chico kids vaccinated.
Only that, but you got all these political people like free guy in Florida saying they have to do it. So you got people all like, oh, so it should be choice. So,
Well, you know they about Run. Run been blowing on them. That's why every time for president, he like 10 vote and already spud on this to where they smear mud on Paul's. They knew he's be a political blow, so they smear him in his face and he talk and believes everybody they already has been that wrong with law. Okay, bad brother brought that. That's how I was gonna start off is the diesel scale, and I said leak through European nations on the 12th Israel. Everybody invaded. The country thing they was the people to take all of them. Okay, when the European invasion, main disease that pushing was the smallpox. Okay, so the measles came from the Europe government, the EU. All right, and we're going a little bit in EU too.
The ring has
Start off in Shalom. All praise to the Most High. Hope everyone's having the top Rob evening. So I hope he's having a good one. Nice lesson. Just going to some information. Speaking about government and what women up, what's way, because a lot of people are minded like what's going on. Tonight we're going to go some information. A lot of information you probably know. Still going to on it. Put that surges in you. That makes sense. Okay. But first, I know we've done new views, but I'll open it up for the 5 minutes. See anybody they will share group at the so it's time. Online news to share. News. Brother KJ, that's I'm going.
yeah. The judge is telling grandma has killed these kids that have to get named. It's Michigan.
The mother had custody.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see the kids CTPS while they fly because it's addicts and that. But heard that we see a lot more. She learned a couple of changes. So his tenor that the judge is saying that they have to get vaccinated. No way.
Right. So KG said seeing something in Michigan where grandma has custody of kids CP is mandatory that she the kid vaccinated.
Not only all these people peeking out Hillary, you got Bush, and you need to too. So then you got other side of Paul.
Right. We don't care about Paul been with us on years. That's why he run for it. They got like 10 of the vote. They didn't know your mud's face. They run Paul because they was basically a whistle. They smelled on this way when people don't because they has government already believing something's wrong with Paul. But I'm glad AG brought because that's what I was blessed with. Measles. Like I said last week, through history and through Europe invasion, all the tribes of Israel, everything, every first thing was he's the people to control of. Okay, and when it happened, the main they were putting measles pox. Okay, that's where me came from. Those came from the Union government, you. Okay, and get a little bit of the E.
recording started.
That's why I'm saying, shalom. All this to the hope everybody's happy. Why? I is why everybody's good. Tonight we just went to some mission. Speaking of government and what's coming up in this way, I think people lying by happening and what's going on. So tonight we're going to nation information you guys probably already know, but we're still touching on just to put some urge back in that is. Okay. But first, I'll open it up for news. I haven't done news in a few weeks. Open it first 5 minutes. If anybody has anything to share at the group time, the good time. Anybody don't have any news like the group? No news? Okay. Brother, say you got something?
Judge is right who now has to deal with kids that they have to vaccinate.
Is this that?
The mission.
So the grandmother had the kid.
The grandma custody is through that see been involved with kids going on clearance drug and things like that. But and let me see a little bit more. See the couple and under got 4 kids under the judge and they're half
Right. The case that it was sitting and where they had custody kids through CS. Now CS it can inventory they'll get this back.
Not only that, all the political speaking of Hillary, Bush order, and that they knew it too. But they want other ones saying be Paris.
Right. So they don't care. Ron Paul on the West for years. Why every time he resident, he only got % of they smeared on his smeared on Ron's face because he was basic political lord. They speared mud on that way talks people even because they had the government as you but something was wrong. Hey, but I'm the case that up because actually what started off with is the home care. And like the last we know who hit and who the European invasion